So I'm very happy to be here with all of you, and particularly with Isabella, because she's a great woman, first of all, and she's also a great friend. And as usual, the great friend that I invite here at She Leads are people that are really making the difference in what they are doing.
First of all, it's a real honor to be here, and I thank you so much for your words. I joined the BNP Paribas, the Cardiff company, which was a startup at the time, not even 50 people, with a full story to be written, and I was appointed CEO at the age of 34. I think I was, and I still am, probably the youngest woman CEO in Italy. And after many years of insurance, traveling all over the world, based in Milan, I very recently joined the BNP Paribas Group. Within the BNP Paribas Group, the private banking and wealth management division, which I now run since more or less 3 weeks.
My dear, I would like to ask to you, because again, you are really unique, a unique person, a unique leader, a unique CEO. I would like to ask to you to share with us 3 episodes of your life where you really, now you can say really, okay, these 3 episodes made myself, made who I am now. Can you share about your story, your personal story?
Sure, with pleasure. Maybe we can start from the moment where when I decided to set up a family with having 2 children. At the moment where my career was peaking, and I had to travel all over Europe because I was in charge of BNP Paribas Cardiff for Southern and Central Europe. And I think that what I managed to do at that time, which probably I wouldn't be able to do again, is breastfeeding them from distance. And this is something that it's very much actual if you think about the lockdown and what we had to manage from distance. So, and this was just to say that I was determined to do that, and I think that life must go on. And this was a great, an important message for me, also during the pandemic tragedy towards the 500 families of BNP Paribas Cardiff that crossed the year together with me. And this was something which was very, very important for me. And certainly it represents my resilience, my determination, and the fact that in spite of everything, life must go on. Maybe a second one is the fact that from time to time, I like to exit my comfort zone, because I strongly believe that this is a way to improve and grow. So apart from what I did joining Cardiff, certainly very recently joining private and wealth management is a very strong move, and is giving me the possibility, which I strongly hoped, to be able to see the world and approach the professional life with the eyes of a person coming out from the university, in spite of a very long experience. Because something which is a pity from time to time is that when you're very experienced, it's difficult to be able to see the world in a very pure way. So this is something that I'm experiencing now, and I really love, because again, change is a source of energy, even if it's difficult. The third one, if I have to identify a third one, is much more personal, is linked to the fact that as you said, I like to know people. I love humans, and I'm very interested in people in general. And I believe that the organization can grow faster if people are onboarding and feel that they have a sense in the overall project, each of them. So in order to do that, I like to be contaminated by other generations who do that more naturally, like for example, the Y, the Z generation. So for my birthday, when I was 50, I decided to go to Spain, in Barcelona, with a group of 9 teenagers. And that was my party, my gift to myself, and live as a teenager with them for a long weekend. That was a fantastic experience because I was completely overwhelmed by their energy and their way of seeing the world, which now I try to apply in the way I look at things in the office.
When I spoke the first time with Isabella, she told me, Maria Rosaria, you know, I want to realize a platform with my company where I will able to connect all the services that are from banking, from other services, financial services, from an insurance. Can you see that? I said, yes, I started to understand what you say. How can you see the future, my dear?
Well, this is a very good question. If I may, I will use the definition that you gave to my approach to life, which is freedom. I felt free to consider everything without limitations, and I try to connect what I understand from the different pieces of the business and of what I'm understand from people. Something which is very, very important if you consider our financial industry today, is that in the last 5 years, it is experiencing a progressive shift towards e-commerce like customer expectations. Mm-hmm. And this is due to all the technological innovation, to the social means, for which clients now have adopted a completely different approach. They expect to be satisfied immediately where they are, and they expect that the provider and the companies understand their needs and can be proactive towards them in a seamless way. So, if I may, the recent COVID tragedy in a way accelerated all this, and people get accustomed to access to their partners from home, from wherever they are. And this is making less and less difference compared to the past, where the digital channel or the video was a tier 2 mean to have a relationship. Yeah. Today, I think that we are in a situation where all these digital means clearly have the same dignity as a personal touch. Yeah. And this is particularly important in business like wealth management, which I today represent, which is a relationship driven industry. But what is going to change? I think that if I may be very simple in order to be sure that we all understand the point, I think that we are globally shifting from a situation where people expect to be presented and offered very high quality products with a very seamless experience and service, which is let's say, the very recent important conquer that we have done as an industry, to something really different, which is not only linked to what are you offering, what can you do for me, but it's pushing us as financial institutions into a completely different context, which we can call ecosystem if you want, or sum of ecosystem, which is the capability to enter into the customer situation and help the person understand that, help the person maybe extract some needs, hidden needs, or link different needs among themselves, which are not necessarily just purely financial needs.
Yeah.
So we have to go from expecting that the customer will list to us the needs, and this is very good because this is a listening approach, but this has been given for granted after the COVID tragedy. Yeah. What we now have to do, and this is what we believe will open not a two-way dialogue, but a real conversation with the person, is become partners, because we can use all the technologies in order to be always connected in all our life needs, regardless from the business that I run. This, in my opinion, is going to be the trigger which will moving from what can I offer or sell to why are you telling me this? Because in the why, then we discover the world and the life of our customer, and behind the world and the life, we can help the customer shaping the needs. You can very well have a customer coming to ask for a disinvestments of actions that go home with a loan, because we may understand that if it's a short-term cash need, probably a short-term loan is much more efficient than disinvesting from a long-term strategy.
When you said that you are going from really starting a relationship and asking, understanding, and not just how you can help them or what you can do for them, but exactly why they need something. You are exploring and opening a world that is the world of the meaning, what they really need. And this is, for me, start understanding what the conversation means. But what is for you now? So working from insurances in wealth management, what is having a conversation, a true conversation, an authentic conversation with your clients? Because you, for sure, you are an authentic person. You are not able to say something in which you don't believe.
Let me try to make a parallel from between the insurance and the wealth management. As an insurer, I was firmly convinced that during the pandemic, treating the health problems of our customers would have made the difference. But of course, we could offer health insurance behind, which was not just a product, but it was let's say a platform which linked as an ecosystem all the providers, external providers, digital providers, doctors, and all what we needed, data providers, all what we needed in order to come up with a thorough solution for the customers. Now I go into the new team and I start speaking to people, and guess what? We talk about health, because there are some universal needs which do not depend from what you sell, but really open the trust. The person I am, the way I see my future, how I want to treat my family, how I want to treat my home, which are my worries. These are very important information for a relationship manager who wants to go beyond just selling the offer. We may not have the full range of products, but certainly once you enter into such a deep trust with the person, and you feel that the customer can talk about anything, and this is facilitated by the mobile technology, then in shaping the best solution, we can certainly be more creative and we can take into account also the personal characteristics and the fear of the persons, because some of the decisions, especially in the financial markets, are very much driven by the fear. So we absolutely need to know to what extent, how to reassure the person about what are the concerns. If we do not know the concerns, we may come up with the best financial solution, but the person will die after 2 weeks of volatility. So these are the things that needs to be understood when you open a conversation. Then to open a conversation, we can capitalize on the means. It's a live dialogue with a customer, and we can also use very, very modern means, technological means, in order to reproduce also an atmosphere around this.
This is very exciting and it's fascinating. Exactly what are you doing in creating this atmosphere? So I was looking at your website and I saw that is really beautiful. So I mean, the words of beauty, you know, when you see something that is beautiful and is really give you a space of arts, quite a space of a very deep form of expression, of human expression. And but specifically, what are you doing in really putting your client at the center of your ecosystem?
First of all, we work about the information that we have of our customers. We have many, many data. So we are organizing them. We are also enriching them with public information in order to be able to be proactive when we talk about people, and informed about as much as possible about their situation. We never forget that we are people speaking to people. So we are, of course, we use a website, but then we are trying to make it as user-friendly as possible, including the possibility for the customer to give us feedback. We use in a very, very structured and systematic way the feedback that the customer gives, and we also encourage from specific NPS exercise the feedback in order to include this in our co-creation with our customers. This is also a way for us to onboard the bankers. You know, traditional role of the banker is quite institutional, maybe severe, very professional, but somehow distant. Yeah, what we need to do is cut the distance. People need to be touched, and you know, now that it has been impossible and forbidden to touch people for so long, that's absolutely what people need now. They need to feel proximity. They need to feel that you know, they can reach us the moment they want, talking about whatever they want, and this can be done via our website, but also via other tools that like augmented reality that we are now testing. Clients can be at home and have the feeling that they are walking into our office, so we can bring the office to them, to get closer and to have a, you know, a very open conversation about what they are mainly interested into. We are also working on some very specific tool that, like My Impact, giving to customers the possibility to read and approach these very up-to-date issues, like, for example, sustainability, all the ESG products that are going to be available more and more on the market, and you know, giving through this this digital ecosystem, a sort of a personal touch where the person sees that all what is has to do with his or her is being taken into consideration in this famous conversation.
Thank you so much. I really love what you say. Isabella, we have a very interesting question that is from Ginescu. When we speak about wealth, there is a very specific stereotype that comes to mind. White, male, educated person. What are your efforts to democratize and make information more accessible to people that come from other backgrounds? This is very interesting. So
this is a very, very crucial question, and thank you very, very much. We are moving from a banker who can manage alone a relationship into a model where the banker will bring experts into the meeting, and being facilitated by the webcam or the possibility to do things through augmented reality, more people will be able to participate to the conversation. So this will give the possibility to cross-fertilize with different competencies, different approaches, and different ways of working. This is the first part. The second part is certainly leading by example. This is something that I know you're very interested into, and you, Maria Rosaria, are very attached to. But people tend to emulate what the top management does. You certainly know that we have recently appointed a new CEO of BNL and the head of BNP Paribas in Italy. She's a woman, she's my age, and she's a very, very accessible style. So what we are all trying to do, even if in this area, is to bring this accessible style. Because people, if you want to build this conversation, which is based on trust, people need to feel at ease by telling very personal things. And from time to time, it may be difficult to do this with people who are, you know, may seem cold or too distant. I don't know if I answered the question.
Interesting. So when I think about wealth management, I think about, you know, property, I think about assets versus liabilities, whatever. I don't know nothing about that world, and I don't know where to start. I feel it's a world close to me as somebody that, so I grew up very poor, as somebody that didn't have that education in the family. I didn't get it at school, obviously, because they don't teach us that. So they don't teach us anything useful. Where can I find that sort of information, and how can I increase my knowledge?
Good question. Thank you so much.
This is very, very interesting. We have a conversation space, which we have called My Expert, and where customers or friends can find all possible information. It's a newsroom where you can receive updates from our experts about all the fields of investments, markets, sustainability, which are, you know, the technical part of our business. We are also running an academy for those who really want to become bankers, and we are doing it today with together with the Bocconi University. So it's a training. It's not only a technical training; it's also a training on the way we expect the people to approach people.
Hi, this is Jennifer, Germany, Duisburg. And the question that somehow treats me is that people suffer because they have distancing, etc. And I have the feeling that now that vaccination is going on, everyone is waiting for the moment to be together again, because they feel that this kind of contact is the most deepest one, and that is the real contact. And now, listening to you, hearing about the experience and what you are doing in terms of how to present in another way than the personal way, would you say that by now, still nothing can compare to the personal contact, because people are going to travel again, and all the things that we did for distancing are now vanishing with the time. So would you say that we are not able to have these deep connections just being online and use every technical issue that we have? Or do you think it could be reachable? And in addition, is it a gender or youth question?
Thank you very much.
Able to transport that one.
You are right. Nowadays, people feel the joy to meet again, and this is clearly it's clearly going to be back. I think that from what we are experiencing, this will be in the future. The new normal will be a mix of between the two models, the distant model and the physical model. Why do I say that? Because at the end, the distant model, has been very, very efficient and gave additional opportunities which were not possible with a normal physical approach. For example, the thing that I was mentioning before, including the possibility to having more specialists joining the call and the meeting, talking about different things is certainly something which brings a lot of value to the customer, and this can be certainly kept as one of the good things of the acceleration of this digital distant approach. Somehow is like the Darwin theory of the human evolution. I think that during the lockdown, humans demonstrated that they can evolve. They evolve quickly and they adapt very quickly. So this is something which will somehow remain, but we will certainly retrieve some of the physical touch, which is still very necessary and very, very human.
Thank you so much, Isabella. We have another very interesting question from Kirsty. Kirsty, let's go.
Hey, hi, Isabella. It's Kirsten. Thank you so much for sharing your very interesting thoughts and experience. I'm very amazed about that. So my question is, my thought on that is, I think or even feel that women do have a different view on or feelings about money and therefore also about wealth managing. So first question is, do you share that? And if yes, how is that reflected in your approach you just elaborate a bit on?
Thank you, Kirsting. A very, very, very interesting question. I think that somehow this is true. From what I experience, women are more interested on what they can do with money, whereas men are more focused on how much money I can have. But having said that, I think that nowadays we are in a situation of a lot of liquidity into the market. And people who have money have a unique opportunity to impact on their country, on their territory. This is something which is, in my opinion, closing the gap between the two views. Everybody is trying to understand how they can help the system, how they can impact by doing, collective investments, individual investments, donations, and all this. It's no more a question of donation because I want to show that, I'm generous. People want to see, expect a return on their donation. Let me just give you an example. Very recently, a man, to come back to your question, donated a lot of money to a municipality in order to do schools. But because the schools were not built, he asked the money back. And this is important because we need to enter into a mood where money is there to be useful.
Yeah.
So if we put the money on the table, then we need to be reassured that the money is used for the objectives that we have. And this is fair enough, in my opinion. This is a very important trend, which is going to boost a lot, in not only for the ESG concept, but also for the fact that we are more or less like after a war, we are in a reconstruction, and people feel that they need to do things, and people who have money want to be part of this this reconstruction. And this is unisex.
Thank you. This is a very interesting point. I would like to ask to Blanca from UK. You are a woman, UK, in the financial business. So what you would like to ask to Isabella?
Because as you said, I agree that we have all demonstrated that we can be very efficient working from home. But I think this is something, I'm not sure it's sustainable in the long term. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I think this is a very, very crucial point. A flexible working for the future is going to be a key point. My view is that financial industry has been particularly hit, because if you think about, my husband is an entrepreneur, and he had trucks, goods, and things that, physical things that he could manipulate even during the lockdown. Financial industry is already very much, digital and dematerialized, because the only thing we had was, contracts. Now we go towards paperless, which is good for sustainability reasons, but then we will have nothing physical. Everything is virtual. It's probably the most virtual industry in the lockdown period. So I completely share what you say. Everything is virtual. Everything is planned. And to be honest with you, what we have researched is exactly what you said. People are less creative. And when you ask people, why do you think you're less creative? What the answer is, we miss the coffee machine.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily because they were, in the office, you can be more creative. It's because they met people at the coffee machine, exchanging what they were thinking of openly. And then, ideas could raise.
From Stefania, she's asking, shifting from what can I do for you to why I do that for you is crucial in a relationship. Could you please give us some more examples about how you are managing that?
So from time to time, one thing to be done is forget about products, because otherwise you remain on what? You have to forget about products. Products are commodities. Your products can be taken also by the competitor near door. The only way is forget about that. Enter into a conversation with the person with the feeling that you are a person to serve another person first. Then all the rest will come. So this is the first thing. And you discuss about life. You discuss about COVID. You discuss about priorities, government, investments. Then you come to the person and to the needs. So this is a way, an example of how I would recommend also my bankers, especially the most experienced bankers, who are those who have more difficulty in doing that.
Great. And then we have the question of Barbara Marini. So about what is really exists a gender gap in banking? And if what are you doing?
Yes, I think that it's more or less generalized. What I did in BNP Paribas Cardiff, we managed to set up a fund in order to bridge the gap, salary gap. I'm clearly talking about salary gap between men and women. So we did manage to do that within Cardiff. I still don't know exactly what the situation is, but in BNP Paribas Private and Wealth Management, but I expect that this is not going to be very different. So some actions, some economical actions need to be done, but also making sure that there is a gender indifference. And I think that the fact that we now have a lot of women heading and running crucial business activities within the group, and not only legal compliance and HR, this will boost this type of this approach.
Yes, for sure. And a suggestion, an advice, Tan from India. Isabella, what is your advice to women that that are young? She's 28, she told me, so that try to climb up the corporate ladder. What do you suggest to her?
Speak up, be brave, don't hesitate to ask what you need, express your thoughts, and explain why you have a certain view. This is something that will help producing a new culture within the organization, and will facilitate your career, because it's based on genuine questions and consequent approach.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.